Hello, and welcome back to my channel, Stitches with Love. My name is Elizabeth, and this is where I share all about my knitting adventures, both on and off the needles. And today is another episode of Sock Sunday, where I work exclusively on socks all day long and try to make as much progress as I can on what I have currently on my needles. So if you're interested in today's episode and you're curious what my socks are looking like today, grab a cup of something cozy and we'll get started. So I remembered my notes this time, and I can see I've forgotten to grab something that I wanted to share, so I will share that next week. I'll put that in my notes actually to share next week. It has been quite a morning. My children were up at their usual early time of dark 30, and I just really wasn't ready to get up, although I was actually up much earlier. I think I got up at about 3:30 today. 3:30 this morning, I think, is about the time that I opened my eyes and left the coziness of my bed. Not because I wanted to be up at 3:30. That's a terrible hour to be awake. But actually, it's been raining since last night, and it's wonderful, and I could hear it out our window. But I think something must have been stuck in the gutter, or the rain was falling down in a particular place outside of the window. I don't know. There was just a strange sound, and it woke me up. So I got up to investigate, didn't see anything odd, decided it was just the rain, but by that point I was already awake and grumpy, so I might as well just stay up. So I made some tea, and I had a bit of a knit until my husband went to work, and then shortly after I went back to bed, hoping maybe I could get a little more sleep in before my children woke up, and that was the end of that. So I'm tired this morning, and I'm a little cranky, and it's just kind of set the tone for the whole day, but that's okay. We're gonna get through it. So on to Sock Sunday, plus a few other things. Let me look at my notes here. Nothing about my life is ever well organized, and that includes this podcast or channel or whatever you want to call it. I'm looking around my office, which is an absolute disaster. I think I managed to gather most of the things I need for today's episode. Anything I forgot is going to have to wait till next week. So I'm making a note for what I want to share next week. What am I drinking today? Today I am drinking peppermint tea. I bought it in bulk from somewhere. I think I bought it online. I love peppermint tea. I drink it often. It is my favorite tea, and so I always have it on hand. And I thought that maybe if I started buying it in bulk, it would be a cheaper, more cost-effective way of having my tea in the house. I wouldn't say it really is. So I decided I would just stick with my tea bags and buy those in bulk rather than the loose leaf tea. So that's what's in my cup this morning. What are you all drinking today? Coffee, tea, soda? I don't know. I'm not really a soda drinker myself. What am I reading this week? Well, I haven't actually gotten much reading in this week. I did start a new Bible study, which I wanted to share with you. Let's see, do I want to share that? Hang on, I'm going to just go grab my book. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. So, what am I reading this week? And the answer to that question is not much. I've made very little progress in the books that I shared last week. And if you missed the episode last week or you saw it, I was trying to recall a particular book about the women who helped in NASA. That is called Hidden Figures, and I'm sorry I don't remember the author's name. I did link it I put it in the comment section of the previous video. Excellent book, highly recommend. But the books that I shared last week that I'm currently reading, I think I've only read maybe just a few pages out of each of them because it's been a very busy week. But I did start a new book. I think Bible studies count as reading, right? They should. But I started this study by Christy McClelland. It's called Luke in the Land. And let's see. I've already started highlighting and making notes and answering the questions and going through. It's a really good study so far. If you're looking for a new Bible study, so far I've really enjoyed this one. It's called Luke in the Land, and I'm rather enjoying it so far. So that's what I'm currently reading. And then I'm running out of spots to put stuff in my office. I did also acquire some new books fairly recently in the last, this one I think I got, it's been a couple weeks. So I have a basket of books to read in my office. This is currently in that basket. It's called Learning to See by Elise Hooper. And this is about the photographer Dorothea Lange. I don't know that I'm pronouncing her name correctly, but I went to a couple of years of community college and studied photography. I was really into it for a while. I learned about her then. Brilliant photographer. I'm very curious to see what this book is about. So it's currently in my to-read basket. And then this book I picked up also at the library. It's called Under the Tuscan Sun by Frances Mays. I've looked at this book a few times in the library, but I've never actually picked it up to read. I don't really know what it's about. It sounded interesting. Let's see. It looks like, I'm pretty sure it's a work of fiction, but it's set in Tuscany in Italy, and that's somewhere that I've always wanted to go. So that's in my to-read basket. And the last book that I recently got this week is by Rhonda Stoppe, and it's called Moms Raising Sons to Be Men, Guiding Them Toward Their Purpose and Passion. So this is another book that I have looked at over the last few years. I heard about it on, I forget which radio program. I think maybe it was, I'm blanking on it. It's on KPDQ 93.9. And I cannot remember the name of the program, but they had Rhonda Stoppe on, and she was talking about this book. And so since I heard that radio program, I've been wanting to read it because though I am absolutely not a perfect human being and not a perfect mother, it is my goal to raise my sons to be godly men and to follow after him and serve their lives for him. So this sounded like a book that could help me get that figured out. So originally I found it at the library. I think I've checked it out probably 2 or 3 times at least, and every time I've checked it out, it has just sat on my table and not been looked at. And so rather than just continuing to renew it and then check it back out again, I would just buy my own copy. So at some point, I plan to start reading that soon. All right, so that's what I'm reading and upcoming with my reading. Now on to Sock Sunday. That went on much longer than I planned. I'm sorry. If you're really just here for the socks, skip ahead to about 9 minutes and 30 seconds. That's where the good stuff starts. I don't know how to do timestamps or if it does that automatically on YouTube. So I'll just make a note of it. I have one finished pair of socks. These are what I just made for Michael. They are fresh off the needles. He's very excited to wear them. And look how beautiful they are. My first pair of finished socks in, well, never mind how long it's been since I have finished a pair of socks. It's been a while. These were done in Regia yarn. I get it online. It comes from somewhere in Europe. I think Germany. It's really good yarn and plenty to make a full-size pair of adult stockings. These I just made a little bit smaller in the foot so that they would better fit a child, and I still have leftover. So I did these on, if you're curious, it's my plain vanilla sock pattern, 72 stitches. I did a knit one, purl one, ribbing. I don't know how well that shows up. And then plain stockinette all the way down for the leg and the foot. I think the legs I did 80 rounds. I don't remember, to make it kind of long. He really likes a long leg sock. He does not like ankle socks. So for Michael, I make his a little longer. And I have not washed them. I have not blocked them. I really just wanted to focus on getting them off the needles so that he could start wearing them. The weather's starting to turn, and so it's kind of rainy, kind of cool. Perfect weather for wool hand knit socks. All right. The next sock projects I have for you. I have not finished this sock. I had really hoped that I would, and actually let me just finish this one section and then I'll hold it up to show you. So this is still the first sock of Michael's next pair of socks. And I'm actually almost done. I am on the toe section now. I just started the toe decreases this morning while I was sitting with my tea and listening to the church message. So the goal this week is to finish this sock, and then I'm hoping cast on the next one. Although I have to be honest, I'm kind of tired of looking at this color just because it's been on my needles for a while. But I really do love how it's working up. So this will probably be done in the next couple of days, but I'm going to make it my goal to finish it today for Sock Sunday. And then I'll move on to the next pair of socks I'm working on that's already on the needles rather than casting on something new. This week my goal, whenever I pick up my sock knitting specifically, is to work on whatever socks are currently on the needles before I cast on the second sock for the pairs that I'm already doing. Does that make sense? I'm not sure if I really worded that very well, but we'll see how it goes. As far as sock progress, that's really all I have to report. I just haven't done a lot of knitting on any of the other socks, and even the socks I've been working on, I don't feel like there's really that much progress because I knit in the pockets of time I have. And some days I have lots of pockets, and some days I have very few pockets, and some days I have no pockets of time that I can work on my knitting. So I did, however, find time to cast on another project. Not that I really need another cast on project, but I get so bored. Pretty sure I have ADHD, and I'm allowed to say that because I have children who have it and I know the signs. And it would explain so much about my life. But I cast on? I'm not actually sure what the correct term would be. Is it cast on or cast it on? I started another Musselburgh hat. This colorway, it doesn't show up quite true with the camera light, but this colorway is from Hypnotic Yarns. It was one of their Yarnable subscriptions. I think this was their, I don't know if I have the tag. I don't think I do. I think this was the June 2025 colorway. You can, if you are interested but not able to join the Yarnable subscription, go on to Hypnotic Yarns and you can purchase previous colorways and boxes from their subscription. If you're interested, I looked this morning and I will link in the comments below or the description box of this video. You can go on to Yarnable right now. They are currently accepting new subscriptions. So if you're curious, hop on over there. I'm not sponsored by them in any way. I just am very pleased with the company and the way that the subscription works. So if you're interested in trying some of their yarn and you want to do their subscription box, go to yarnable.com or do a Google search for Yarnable. I will put the information in with this video. And you can also have your own subscription. So I am making pretty good progress. I started this on Wednesday and I'm very pleased with how it's working up. So that is a new cast on. Even though I told myself and all of you I wasn't going to cast on anything new, I think we all knew how that was going to go. All right. And my final, well, not really my final thing. We're getting close to the end. The next thing I wanted to show you is my scrap blankets. I did make a little bit of progress on that this week. Not a lot, but I did finish a couple of squares and then I started a new square. So this is called the Cozy Memory Blanket. It is a 4-purchase pattern on Ravelry. You start with one square, then you pick up stitches and make another one. Then you pick up stitches and pick up stitches, and you just continue doing that, picking up stitches as you go to add more squares. I have a whole bag full of sock yarn scraps. So I hate the idea of just throwing them out, and there's plenty of yarn left after most every project I make to make something. So this bag is just holding all of my sock weight yarn scraps because that is what I use most often. I thought about doing another scrap blanket or something with my worsted weight because I do worsted weight for sweaters. But we'll see. So this is an ongoing project. I have no deadline. I have really no plans in mind to finish it quickly. It's just whenever it gets done, and I'll make it as big as I want before I add the border and finish it off. So this will take a long time. Hi, Dorito. Dorito is in here. Dorito is our cat, if you do not know him. He has managed to push his way in through my office door and join us. Why is that wet? Dorito, did you just pee on this? No, maybe not. Okay. All right. Last thing. The other stuff in the basket that I have, I think I'm actually going to wait to show you until later this week because there's something to add to it. So this is a sweater update, and I don't remember if I've actually shared it on this channel. I've been keeping sort of a photo diary of it on Facebook. If you have me on Facebook, you can just look at the top of my page and it'll show a pinned post of this sweater. And I'm not going to go into great detail about it, but this sweater is for my father. I started yesterday the first sleeve because I got really tired of working on the body, and I had already done the collar. So there's the collar. It's a folded collar, which I really love the look of. I like the feel of it. It's got a cable pattern along the front. And then that pattern continues down the sleeve. It's definitely nowhere near being done, but it is really looking quite nice. I don't work on this every day. This requires a little bit more time and concentration than what I typically have. So this is a project that is kind of slow going, but I'm pleased with the progress that I've made so far. I don't know when it's going to be done. Now that the weather is turning, I'd like to get it done sooner rather than later. And I hope it fits him okay. I've never done a sweater for my dad. I've wanted to for quite some time. And I don't think he knows it's coming. I hope not. If he does, then that's okay too. I think I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to go work on my socks some more, see if I can get that toe done, and then work on another sock for today's episode. That's it. I hope whatever you're knitting today, wherever you're going, whatever you're doing, you have a wonderful time doing it. And until next time, this is the end.